Yo, what's going on, YouTube? The Twins have won a playoff game. I am so excited. I'm almost crying. That was an emotional roller coaster, but the Twins win in the playoffs. They beat the Blue Jays 3-1, and this game had everything. Big moments on offense, on defense, some home runs. We're going to talk about it all and break it down, but I'm seriously speechless after that game. I had to calm down and take a couple of breaths because I have dreamed of this day literally since forever, but like 2019, I started watching the Twins every single day, and I made videos on them every single day, and I've been waiting for this. I mean, really back even to 2017 when they played the Yankees in the wild card game. They went up 3-0 in that game. It was Brian Dozier, Luis Severino, and I can't believe they blew that game. From that moment on, all we've heard about is loss. Twins lose again to the Yankees. They lose to the Astros in the shortened season. Doesn't matter anymore. It's over. The Twins have won. They take a 1-0 lead, and now they're going to go out and shut them out tomorrow and take the series with Sonny Gray on the mound. This is great. So let's jump right into this. We're going to start with the pitching because the batting has some big moments. But in the pitching side of things, Pablo Lopez, 5 2/3 innings, only gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run. It was right at the end of his outing. Only struck out 3, but that doesn't matter because he was really good. I mean, I wouldn't say dominant, but he was as close to dominant as possible without, because he did give up hits, okay? He had to rely on his defense, but he did everything he needed to do to get the job done, okay? So let's go down and take a look at some of these key moments on the pitching side of things. I mean, already, first inning, okay? This first batter of the game, George Springer, reaches on an error. Again, that's not necessarily Pablo's fault, but Polanco makes a throwing error, and then I was at work, so I'm like, oh boy, here we go. This is not a good start. But from there, he went 3 and out after that. Second inning, got a couple of big outs, including Michael A. Taylor diving, making a catch on Kirk. And that was the second out of that inning. He gave up a walk, but got Chapman to fly out. 2 big moments. Let's go down to where he did give up the run. The Twins are up 3-0 at this point, which was great. They got out to an early lead, but in the 6th inning, okay, this was the biggest moment of this game. There were a few bigger moments even so into the 9th inning, but this was the biggest moment of this game. In the 6th inning, Vladimir Guerrero flies out. Great, you keep him off base, at least for now. Bo Bichette hits a single. Biggio flies out. Okay, so you're up by 2. You're up by 3. It's 3-0 at this point. You have a guy on in Bichette. Obviously, nothing can tie the game. They do walk Kirk. Not great, okay? So walk Kirk, runners on first and second, and then Kiermaier comes up. The strike zone was terrible in this inning especially, but throughout the game, it was pretty bad. They totally missed a call. I believe it was the first or second pitch to Kiermaier. He might have been down 0-2. I can't quite remember that, but then gets a single through the left side of the infield, past the diving Polanco, scores 3-1. Guys are still on base. They take Pablo out of the game, okay? And that's when they bring in Varland. I, again, can't quite remember it because I was just freaking out at this point, like what's going to happen. But Varland, I think it was 0-2. Chapman, fly ball, right center field, back at the wall. Taylor, a little hop at the wall, makes the catch. And that saved the game. That would have at least tied the game without a doubt. And then, of course, you've got a guy on in scoring position. It would have been a double. Who knows what would have happened there. So not only do I think that Pablo pitched great to keep the damage at a minimal, Varland comes in and clears it, but Michael A. Taylor defensively was huge. And then in the 9th inning, you've got Duran coming in. there's nothing I wanted more than him to just go out and strike everybody out. And he had an immaculate inning going for the first 4 or 5 pitches. Gets Chapman and Kiermaier to strike out. He walks Merrifield. He had him 1-2, I believe. Walks Merrifield, and that brings up George Springer. This was clearly the biggest play of the game. It didn't have the most daunting ramifications. You give up a hit, okay, great. Now you've just got to, get the next guy. But not bases loaded, this guy on first, George Springer, line out to the first baseman. It was a hop, and what a play to finish off. A diving play by Solano at first base to field it on a short hop, throw to first to get the out. So there's the defensive highlights. I mean, I don't call it lucky, sure. I mean, the Twins probably made a couple of great plays. They're great players, but they made some great plays that they needed to make to get this job done, and they did. Luckily, and I don't know where to put this, but they were facing Gausman, okay? On the other side of the pitching matchup. He has not been good against the Twins, okay? I believe the Twins won 3 games of the 7 or so throughout the series against the Blue Jays this year. But Gausman, he was bad against the Blue Jays, or against the Twins. 1-4, career record versus Minnesota with a 6 ERA. He, I think it was 11 innings or 10 innings, gave up 7 runs this year. I was feeling good with Gausman on the mound. He hasn't been great against Minnesota, so that's great. And then we beat him. So great. He struggled in the first inning. We'll talk about it in 1 second, but really got it going. And then they had to use 6 pitchers. The Jays had to use 6 different pitchers just to stay in this game. They did. They out-hit Minnesota, actually. But we got rid of Gausman, their best pitcher by far. They have Bassett. They have Barrios. They're good pitchers. We know Barrios well. They have Kikuchi. They have some good pitchers now, but we have Sonny Gray. This was a big, big win to beat Gausman. Like I said, it helped that he wasn't great against Minnesota this year, but that's a big win. Let's talk about the offense. There wasn't much of it, but there was one man. There was one man, our savior in this game, Royce Lewis, who got the damage going early. He hits a home run with a guy on base in the bottom of the first inning. And, I mean, I was at work still, and I was going off the wall. I was literally screaming and running around the place because this, I mean, like I mentioned before, reminiscent of the 2017 wild card against the Yankees. We scored in the first inning, but something felt different about this game. With Royce Lewis in the home run, pulled the ball right inside the foul line, down the left field line. It wasn't, a moonshot. I wouldn't say it's a wall scraper either, but he just got enough. And that is what allowed us to take a 2-0 lead in his next at-bat. Literally, as I'm driving home from work, I did not get to see this, but I got the notification on my phone. He hit another one, and this time goes to right center, gets the job done. And he was all of the stuff today, all the runs, 3 to then the 1 Blue Jay, and that was, like I said, pretty much all the offense. There wasn't a lot more. They only had 5 hits, so they need to maybe clean that up, but they did face the best of the best for the Blue Jays. So, and all it took was 1. So that's what big players do in big spots, is make plays. The only other thing I did just forget to mention was, I don't remember what inning it was. Let me see quickly if I can find it. It must have been the 4th inning. I believe it was the 4th inning, and Bo Bichette's on base again. Kirk is hit by a pitch, and Kiermaier singles. It was almost exactly like what happened later in the game, but it went under Polanco's glove. The ball stops. Bichette tries to run home, and Correa throws him out as the ball was just sitting there on the ground because Polanco missed it. Correa throws him out at home. So that another defensive play that I missed there, but it changes the game. The energy in that place was so high the entire time the Twins were at the plate, and then also every time there was 2 strikes, They were on their feet. They were excited. They did what they needed to do. Man, what a great game. I'm glad that I'm able to record this, to record history almost, and I can look back on this in my life and say, wow, that was the day the Twins won. And, we don't have to hear about 18 games anymore. So I do think they get the job done tomorrow. And then we get to play the Astros. Got to take it one game at a time. Blue Jays are going to be hungry, but we got Sonny Gray on the mound. Even if we go to Game 3, we've got Joe Ryan. I feel really good. And the Twins, if their pitching can hold up, they can actually make a run because you only really need 2 to 3 good pitchers in the playoffs. The Twins are built for that. They have good hitting. Today, again, not so much. They need more timely hitting. But if Lewis is just going to pop a dinger every time, get a guy on base, pop a dinger, that's what you need to do, and then have your pitching, who has been so good all year, shut it down. So see if they can come back tomorrow. You guys should come back tomorrow. I'll make a video either way, and we'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Peace. Go Twins, baby.